Right. This is the public responds to Bill Peduto. First post there is Becky says, "Where were you this summer, you asshole?" All right. And these are all people's legitimate reactions to Bill Peduto's posting. Here we go. "Good to know you're against Antifa and BLM, you piece of shit," and a middle finger sign. Okay. Another response to Bill Peduto says, "Pittsburgh approves ADL resolution condemning domestic terrorism." Glenn says some of those who work forces. It's a throwback to Rage Against the Machine. Very good. Very good. Very good.
I thought walking around with a pocket full of shells meant seashells. Someone later corrected me. They were like, "No, those are gun shells." I'm like, oh, I didn't know. Because I was listening to my brother play Rage Against the Machine on his, brand new CD-ROM player, of course.
Oh, yeah. So there, yeah.
I appreciate the throwback. I appreciate the Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, somebody did a little rage drop right there. Gordy says, "Where were all you Democrats, socialists, communists when they were burning down our cities and murdering people? But now you want to complain, you fucking piece of shit. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you, Bill Peduto." So, I mean, there's not a lot of good comments on Bill Peduto's posts.
Now, for the record, the Democratic Socialists weren't in charge. What we do is you sit down with the people who are protesting and you prevent a riot from breaking out. The people of East Pittsburgh were very angry when Antoine Rose was murdered, and they got rid of the police department. And the person who's in charge over there is not the mayor of Pittsburgh. So they sat down with different politicians and they said, "What do you want? Please, we don't want a riot. Please, we don't want this to get worse in the protests." And they listened to the people, and there were no riots. It's very simple. And if people say, "Where are you left-wing people?" We weren't in charge, okay? Bill Peduto was in charge. We were in charge. We'd sit down with all the people protesting, and we would listen. And once they are heard, they feel they are heard. Because they are heard, this prevents problems from escalating.
Right.
Riots are preventable if you listen to the people.
It's really that simple, and a lot of people don't want to respond in such a way that makes any kind of sense. It's sort of like shouting into an echo chamber right now. And I mean, everything he writes, Bill Peduto wrote, Pittsburgh police are implementing homeless academy training for recruits. And just the comment section alone it just tears him apart. Now, here's one real quick. Joe says, "Now if we could only get rid of a sitting mayor and a corrupt city, corrupt state and federal governments, you piece of shit." And
You can get rid of the sitting mayor. Just vote on May 18th for Michael Thompson. You can make that happen. The homeless outreach, the police shouldn't even be involved. You need to say train homeless outreach coordinators. You need to provide shelters and beds. We need to coordinate with the county on actual homeless relief. If you talk to the people who are homeless, and they are people, and you can talk to them, trust me, I have, they will tell you about the problems, and they will tell you how they're treated. And time and again, the police shouldn't be the first line. They should refer to actual services. And if the police encounter a homeless person, again, homeless person, treat them as people because they are people, you reach out and you provide them with services. And unless they're breaking a law and they're a threat to others, the police don't even need to be involved. The Homeless Academy should be training the police to call someone out.
Michael, I have a fear. I have a fear that when you win, I'm going to say that right now, when you win, all these nasty comments are going to come your way, and that's what I'm afraid of.
I don't care. That's part of being in charge. When you're in charge, people will have nasty comments. That's life. They have the freedom to say whatever they want.
That's true.
As long as they're not actively threatening your life, they're free to say whatever they want. Do you have to respond to everyone? No. But you need to listen, and often people have legitimate complaints and legitimate concerns. Whether you vote for me or not, I'll be your mayor. I represent you. I will listen. I will reach out. If you want to yell at me for a while, that's fine. Often the best ideas start by yelling. They call them the gay rights protests, and now you can marry. Yelling's often the first step in real progress. It's okay. That's how things work. Lots of people yelled during the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
Yelling is the first step towards progress. And people who don't think that have no idea how history works and how America works.
I understand, but I do have the fear of I know Pittsburgh, and I know the closed-mindedness, and I know the nasty speech that goes on, and I am afraid that you're going to get the brunt of it, and that upsets me before it's going to happen, because I know it's going to happen.
Sure, but Pittsburgh's a changing city. We're getting better every day. We're getting more liberal, more open-minded every day. If the loudest voices on the internet are closed-minded or in earnest ways speaking their mind because they haven't yet realized what a great city we are, what the future looks like, that's okay. We need to, A, listen, B, engage, C, try to change their mind. And if that doesn't work, you say, thank you, sir, for expressing your opinion. And that's it. You know,
right.
Change takes time. This is a movement. You have to build change. Ideas are slow progress towards change. Whether, look at equality and gay marriage. Slowly, over time, people came to realize that all people are people and should be treated that way.
Right,
and that's
right.
what we're going to do in the city as a whole. It's true on many issues. If you happen to be in prison, wrongly accused, you're a person. You deserve food and a book. Food in a book, okay? And that's it, not controversial. And you're like, oh, but they're this, but they're that. No, those are people, and you need to treat them like people. All people are people. I'm not saying let them all out of the jails. I'm saying give them food in a book. And the fact that we can't do that right now is unacceptable.
That's true. That's also true. I think that there's a ton that needs to be revamped with the whole prison system in Allegheny County.
You need to end cash bail. If you're rich, you go free.
Right.
If you're poor, you sit in jail. And the poor accept pleas that are unacceptable because they are poor.
Right.
And the rich don't have to. That is two-tier justice. That's unfair. If other cities and other places can end cash bail, so can we. Trust me, if you run, the law will catch up with you. You can put ankle monitors on them. There's no reason that we have to keep only the poor behind prison.
Right. Like, if you think about it, dear listeners, so some guy at St. Patrick's Day Parade, he's drunk out of his mind. He takes a piss in the alleyway. He's going to jail, and he's going to fucking rot in jail for as long as he can because he can't afford bail because he took a piss in an alleyway in Southside.
That's right. If he was rich and he had his own private limo, his own private bathroom, he'd be fine. Or he would just get off for peeing outside because he can pay bail.
Right.
It's unacceptable to have a two-tiered system where all people, we need to be treated equally under the law.
It's really that simple. And I want to harken back to the website here. It's Mike Thompson for mayor.com. Thompson spelled the British way, T-H-O. I didn't know if you knew, sir, there's two different ways to spell Thompson, but...
T-H-O-M-P-S-O-N. Don't forget the P. Sometimes people think it's son of Tom, but yes, there are a couple ways. There's like three.
Right. It's the British way. It's pronounced thump.
That's correct.
Thump.
Petition season starts February 16th. If you're looking to volunteer, we definitely have a good team of petitioners. Greg is overseeing our petition work. He's a good person. We've talked a lot. And so we need petitions to get on the ballot. Registered Democrats who live in the city of Pittsburgh are able to sign our petition to get on the ballot. Now, if you're close personal friends with Bill, you can only sign one petition per season. So if you sign Bill Padua's petition, you can't also sign ours. But presuming you're not close friends with Bill, you can totally sign our petition, and feel free to reach out if you want to help us get petition signatures. That is starting really soon, less than 2 weeks away is when petition season starts.
So I have a question, and I know our listeners do. Can independents vote for you? Can Republicans vote for you?
They cannot. So basically the city of Pittsburgh is run by the Democrats. I'm a Democrat. Whoever becomes the mayor of Pittsburgh is decided in the Democratic primary. So if you want to have your voice heard, the system we have as it is you need to change your party registration to Democrat and vote in the Democratic primary on May 18th. Whoever becomes the nominee, the Democratic nominee on May 18th, becomes the mayor. That's just how the system works here.
Okay.
It's not the best system. It's the system we have.
Okay, so say, for instance, my Uncle Larry is a Republican and he wants to vote for you. He has to change to Democrat, vote for you, and then change back.
Right, only temporarily. Change back June 1st. It's only for one election cycle. You don't have to change forever.
Perfect. So write that down, listeners. You're going to want to vote for Mike Thompson. You don't want Bill Peduto. You do not want him again. So you can just simply change your party just for that vote and then switch back if you're comfortable doing that as well. Or, just stay Democrat or, party line, whatever you want to do. But you want to vote for Mike Thompson. You want to. And I'm here to tell you now, if you don't, you're going to be rudely awakened and extremely disappointed. And the comment section is going to go up and up and up and up for Bill Peduto. We're all seeing it. We're all living it. We need a change.
We need you to comment. We need you to vote. We need you to help us get out in the streets, talk to other people. The people aren't being listened to. If you talk to someone right now, they will talk your ear off because no one's listened to them in ages. And change begins with you. You have to step up. You have to talk to your friends. You have to vote. You have to get your friends to vote. You have to stand up for issues you believe in. Your local community, guaranteed, has a local issue that's not being addressed. And the only way you can make that happen is by talking about it. If you tell me your local, street has never been fixed, or your local sign is covered in graffiti, as mine is, it says, "Welcome to South Oakland," covered in graffiti. I tweeted it to 311, nothing happened. I tweeted everyone, including the mayor, nothing happened. Guess what? It's still there. It says, "Welcome to South Oakland." Sorry, it says, "Welcome to Oakland," graffiti on the sign, city property. It's so bad, I went for a walk in Shenley Park with my sister, and 60 feet from a playground, someone had painted in 2 by 6 foot print, "Nazi lives don't matter."
Wow.
And I was just like, oh gosh, this is not a great thing to have on a public park sidewalk this close to a playground. So I tweeted it, and I called everyone, and I tweeted again, and they said, "Oh gosh, we'll fix this real soon. We'll fix this tomorrow." I went back tomorrow, nothing. I went back the next day, nothing. Finally they fixed it. But that's just an egregious example about how your representatives don't listen to you unless you make them. You have to put electoral pressure on them. You have to run for office. You have to vote for other people. You need to vote on May 18th for me, Michael Thompson. There will be other people also running. Look to see who's running and make sure you have a vote in how the city's run.
Absolutely. And I can tell you from personal experience, I had a very, very disappointing run-in with Connor Lamb, but that's a different story for a different show. And he just simply does not give a fuck about the National Guard. He really doesn't. But most Democrats do. Mike Thompson does.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for your service.
Mike Thompson cares about the National Guard. Connor Lamb, not so much. But that's a different story for a different show. But we'll be right back here on the Steel Plaza Network, Steel Plaza Podcast with Mike Thompson. And we're going to figure out how he's going to change everything for the better right back after this. Right back here on the Steel Plaza Podcast, joining us today, mayoral candidate Mike Thompson, the guy that you want to vote for, not Bill Peduto. Don't go back into the dirty pockets. Don't go back into the hot dog shop. He's drunk in public. Nobody wants that anymore. We want Mike Thompson. Mike Thompson, what's going on, my man?
Okay, so what we need to do, real simple. You stop taking bribes and giving bribes out. Now, the semantics are such that they say, oh, it's just money from developers and corporations funding my campaigns. No, we take only money from people in the Michael Thompson campaign. If you're a person, we're happy to take your donation. If you're a company or you're a developer, no, we don't want your money. We're going to pass. And so what happens is all these campaigns, like Bill Peduto, they're funded by rich developers and companies. And so when they get elected, they give away huge giveaways to these companies. They call them tax incentives. That's your taxpayer money being given to people who don't need it. Here's how much. We're talking to the tune of $70,000 per job created by Amazon. $70,000. Think about that. What could that do to help the city of Pittsburgh? We need better schools. We need better roads. We need to be a better city funded by better infrastructure. And we're giving all that money away